And with all this going on, Clinton still having issues answering direct questions about her email problem. A local reporter asking Clinton about her judgment using a small IT company to manage her server. Well, she says, quote, "Well, look, I've taken responsibility," this is Mrs. Clinton, "for what I did, and it was a mistake. The State Department allowed it at the time." Well, then the reporter says, "Yeah, but to someone who thinks that might have been a foolish move, what would you say about your judgment generally?" And she says, "Well, nothing I sent or received was marked classified at the time. That is an absolute fact." Guy Benson is political editor for townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. All right, so in that role-playing there between the reporter, the local reporter in Colorado, and Mrs. Clinton, was she telling the truth?
No, on several levels. So the first thing she says over and over again is, "I've taken responsibility for this." And that's true insofar as she says those words a lot. What that actually means in practical reality, I have no idea, because the very next sentence out of her mouth, another common refrain is, "But this was allowed." No, it wasn't. We know it wasn't. Multiple government officials have said it was not allowed to set up a private, unsecure server on which you do all of your government business. That's not allowed.
To have private email was allowed at that time.
Yes.
Different than having the server.
Two separate issues, and she conflates them a lot. And by the way, a federal judge appointed by Bill Clinton has also ruled and said in his writings that she violated government procedure and policy with the existence of this server. So that's the first point. Then the second part of her answer, where she comes back to this talking point about how things were marked. Was it marked classified at the time? There has been quite an evolution of Hillary Clinton's answers on this particular point. At first, she said unequivocally there were no classified materials on the server, period. Well, that's been disproven hundreds of times over. So she had to move on saying, okay, nothing was classified at the time that it was sent. That has been shown to be completely false. The intelligence community repeatedly giving examples where there was top secret information at the time, at birth, so to speak. Then she said, well, I did not personally send or receive any classified materials on the server. We now know that is also not true. So the latest landing point for her is that nothing was marked classified at the time, which is legally an irrelevancy because it is her duty under the law to know what is classified.
Well, it's also ironic to hear Mike Emanuel's report that some of her aides were having problems actually accessing their email on this server because, if you recall, she said that she only had one device for convenience.
Yes.
Well, this sounds pretty inconvenient to have all these problems with the private server.
The very notion that you would set up an entirely separate email scheme at great personal expense and effort for convenience is risible on its face. It never made any sense. Now we find out that in addition to all of the questions about the security, the IT security of the server, and we had new details this week from the Associated Press showing how vulnerable it really was, it didn't even work. The thing was shoddy and glitchy. I mean, really second rate.
All right. Guy Benson, great to see you in studio.
Good to see you, Gretchen.
Thank you.